Iraq was a very interesting place because it got really out of hand at one point when the civil war started and we had to live under ISIS control.
Hey, got something really cool I wanted to run by and let you know what's going on. So I'm starting a group that will start taking a deep dive into each one of these episodes. So we'll collectively come together and talk about the shows, talk about the guests. I'll be bringing back some of the guests to do some Q&A sessions and really take a further dive into their story, their journey, the episode, talk about, maybe some of the things you wish I would have asked on the episodes, do some Q&A sessions and the like. As a friend put it to me, it's really like a book club, but for the podcast. So a couple times a week, we'll go in, we'll break down the favorite shows of the week, and have cool discussions around everything that we've heard, we've learned, and want to know about their journey. Some of these guests will come in and they'll teach part of what makes them awesome at what they do. And then, as always, I'll be providing regular value and content in this group. It's really cool because this only is going to cost $5 a month to join this group. And you'll be able to come in, interact with everybody else in there. So I'll put a link right in the show notes for this that you can jump in, come have a conversation with us, and we will really deep dive into each one of these episodes and help us all rise up together. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's going to be a great show today. Having the show wasn't something I started out to do. But the day I found out somebody wanted to really sponsor the show was a really, really cool experience. So, guys, I want you to take some time to go check out Point Blank Safety Services and their new nonprofit, Blue Family Fund. These guys are doing some really, really cool things. And Stacy McGovern, who's the CEO over there, has been a dear friend, and she was a guest on the show. But these guys are literally taking, the off-duty officers and putting them out in security guard role. And here's what's cool about it is, as they're protecting our lives, they don't make a whole lot of money in that regard. No first responders are paid for the value they provide for our safety and our health and taking care of us. So these guys, Stacy and her team over at Point Blank Safety Services have really found a cool way to give back to these officers by helping them provide an additional income so they can continue to support and protect us. So do me a favor, guys. Seriously, go check out pointblanksafety.com and then go look at their nonprofit, which is Blue Family Fund. Now, this nonprofit was created because of the success of Point Blank Safety Services. They wanted to give back to the families of fallen officers and be able to give scholarships away to the families of current, police officers. So do me a favor. It would mean the world to me if you would go out and help support this show by supporting Point Blank Safety Services and their nonprofit Blue Family Fund. Just tell them Donnie has sent you. You heard it on Donnie Success Champions, and Stacy will take a tremendous and amazing care of you. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, I am really looking forward to this episode. So I'm going to bring you on Memo, and this guy is a good dude, young kid that is helping my company out with some really, really cool things. But more importantly, I'm really excited to share his story. Guys, he comes from a rough upbringing, his family fleeing war and the tragedies that happened to them after that, and their journey of overcoming the obstacles that gets thrown in their way. It's just a really, really, really cool story. So enjoy this episode, guys. It was a really good one. All right, guys, so this is going to be a fun episode. So I'm bringing you Mamoun Al Maini, and I got that right because I was practicing it just 2 seconds before I started this. And he told me to remember, Memo just like the damn fish Nemo, so it made it a lot easier. Memo's been helping me out with some writing and some other things, so I'm really excited to bring him on here to help him share his story. And, he's across the pond, so I like talking to those guys over there. So, Memo, brother, welcome to the show, my friend. Please share with us your story.
Hey man, first of all, it's a great honor to be here speaking to everyone around. Yeah, so let's begin. I am Memo. This is not my real name. It's my nickname. I got it in middle school. My real name is Mamoun. It's a very Arabic name. Originally from Iraq. It's a place where I was born and raised. And I currently live in the United Kingdom, though.
Nice, nice.
So,
And I know because I know your story. We talked about it before. So you started off in Iraq, but you and your family have had one hell of a trip through everything that's happened to your family. Walk us through that a little bit.
yeah, so I'm just going to start with, because I'm going to give you a background. So my dad used to work in the United Nations with the United Nations ambassador. And we had, especially after the war, like when the war there, I was like about 8. I was in Baghdad, the capital, when the war started, so like where the air raids started. And then from there, my dad got into the United Nations, and that was very, very dangerous at the time because you're branded as you're collaborating with the Americans. So from there, you're already targeted. You're already a target of other people. So my dad went through like 3 bombings. I don't know how he survived them, but thank God he did. And Iraq was a very interesting place because it got really out of hand at one point when the civil war started and we had to live under like ISIS control. You didn't know them as ISIS back then, but they're ISIS. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant at all. What I saw was stuff that a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old shouldn't see, especially in Iraq. Yeah. From there, my dad decided, no, that's it. We're not staying in this country anymore. So through connections, we moved to Dubai. Yeah. And that was the biggest, like one of the most major transfers in my life. We moved to Dubai. My dad didn't have a job. He's a well-educated man, but it's very hard when you move out to a country so fast to get yourself a really good job. So he literally did anything. Yeah, I remember him. He was doing like Arabic to English translations. So we were very, very bad on money. However, we did cope as usual, and as the years keep passing, we just kept growing up.
So you're 10 years old at this point when you moved to Dubai, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. And you've seen some horrific things. When you moved to Dubai, did you have family there? Did you have friends there or?
No, not at all. We were there in the middle of the desert. No help. Yeah. So we just moved. My dad just decided to move there. I think he had a friend there. That's the only thing that got us it.
And then did you guys move into a house or an apartment or was
we moved to a 2-bedroom apartment. And it was me, my mom, and my little sister, and dad, of course. Yeah, so it was a really tiny apartment Dubai is not. It's a fancy place, but there are some places that are really bad.
Right, like with any big city, right? You know, you got the flashy side of it, but then you got, I don't want to say the underbelly, but you got the darker side of things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, and now your dad's first job he could find was as a translator, which, you know,
translator,
yeah, don't make a whole lot of money.
No, they don't at all. Yeah. So my mom was very inexperienced. She's a lawyer. She's a very smart woman, but she was very inexperienced with how law is in the Emirates, or like Dubai specifically. As years started to come, this is where we got a little of hope, like a light, when my mom started working and my dad started going up there and knowing people. And that's where we actually had a good condition when it comes to money. Yeah. And this was me just being a kid. I didn't even care about money back. I just wanted to go back to school, whatever. So I didn't really, but I'm just saying from my memory now. Yeah, we kept going in Dubai. Actually, I'm really proud of like my parents. Actually, I think they did a great job there. I managed to go to an American school. This is why my accent is a bit messed up because it's international. It's cool.
Yeah, but you know, I have talked to several people from the Arabic world, and there's sometimes you're like, I have no idea what you're saying to me, but you're good. I mean, because you've been around, you know, the other cultures so much.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so it helps tremendously.
Yeah, so from there, like we were completely fine. I think, to be honest, I even think that we were well off than most people. And then this is what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I'm good for the future. And then until that day hits, that one day, that really life sometimes just like crumbles on you. So that's what happened. So what happened was there is a law in the Emirates that really like prefers the citizens of the Emirates over the foreigners, which is okay, which is fair enough, I guess, but it's very cruel. So what it does, the management side, which my dad was, he was an HR manager at that point.
So he moved up from a translator all the way into a company and became HR.
Yeah, he was HR in a construction company, which was very good for him. And the management side of it, they started cutting them down, especially the foreigners. Yeah. And this is where my dad lost his job. We were on holiday. We were going to London. We were in London. It was June 2014. I remember it. And this is where my dad got an email. He's like, sorry, here's your bonus. We cannot do anything about it. Basically, he just got sacked. So they gave him the bonus.
So he got sacked over an email.
Over an email, yes. That's how bad it was.
Dude, that's like breaking up with somebody over a text. I mean, come on.
Exactly. So the thing is, the law there, especially when you're Iraqi, it's a bit more difficult to live in a country because what you have to do, especially in Dubai, you have to get a sponsor. And the only sponsor my dad had was the construction company he worked for.
Mm.
And now he no longer works there, so there is literally no sponsor. So he cannot legally go back there. Yeah.
So you guys are in London on a holiday. And I love that you guys call it a holiday because in America we call it a vacation. And I so love the phrase holiday better. No, stay saying holiday. I love that. Right? You guys are on a holiday. He gets an email and you're not allowed to go back to Dubai. Did I hear that right?
Nope. No, my mom can, but my dad doesn't.
Oh, because she had a job there.
Yeah, she had a stable job there, but she still didn't like.
How old are you at this point?
This was in 2014, so I was about like 17, 16.
Okay, so you grow up 8 to 10 years old in a war. I mean, really, flee the country.
Yeah.
Get to Dubai. You guys are clawing and scratching to make a living. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And then get punched in the face by life because your dad gets an email. Yeah.
Again. So basically, we work our way up, and then we just got punched again. So, yeah, this is what happens. So I'm actually expecting this to happen because it always happens in life, but this is how we have to do it. So we moved from Dubai, and then in London. This is a good thing about my dad. He knows a lot of people, which is great because he managed to file the case, when he was working in the United Nations, to help him out to stay in the UK, in London specifically, because he couldn't go back to Iraq after all the threats he got from different sides. So his only option was to be a diplomatic refugee. Yeah.
Oh, right.
A very unexpected holiday or vacation. We managed to stay in London in one of the most disgusting hostels you'll ever be. It's like a little prison.
So your whole family's staying in a hostel?
So basically, we went from the Marriott Hotel, which is a very nice hotel,
right,
to a hostel.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. For some of my listeners that may have not heard the term hostel, will you walk them through what a hostel is?
A hostel is like let's call it in America, man. Do you know when you go to Las Vegas from wherever it is, California or something, that big road? Big stretch of road? Yeah.
Yep.
And there's like stop-bys where you can sleep?
Yep.
It's like that, but it's huge. I
mean, guys, it's a lot of times they're places they're big rooms with beds. I mean, that's a better way of looking at it a lot of times.
Exactly. It's just a room with a shared bathroom between like 20 people, which is disgusting. And the kitchen is you don't have a kitchen. You have to go somewhere they make you food and then you just queue up for it. That's how it's like a little prison basically, but it's a very organized prison.
Right.
Yeah.
You're 17 at that point. What's going through your head during that time?
To be honest, I went from a very good life in Dubai. I was having great fun. I had great friends. I had great connections. And then that happened to me. It was a bit of a shock. I was like, wow, this just really just happened. I'm moving to the UK from a place I really was enjoying.
Were you pissed?
I was quite pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very pissed. Like the people we saw in the hostel, they were like immigrants from different places, Africa, Afghanistan, all these countries. Like I knew I shouldn't be here. I was like, wow, like I just came in, I had a great life. I used to go out every weekend and now I'm here. What do I do? Yeah. And this is the thing. Like I didn't even care about like monetary things, finance and stuff, because I was so used to my parents having it. So this is the beginnings of me shaping up as an independent, like financially independent. All right. From there, my dad gave us a very nice lesson. I still remember to this day. He sat down. He's like, listen, first thing, you keep your mouth shut. I was like, okay. You watch what you spend because we are actually spending on savings. So literally we had no income. Yeah. Yeah. So after we took it to the court, like the case, it took like a couple of months, like 3 months. I was out of school for a couple of months.
Yeah. What's happening to all your stuff back in Dubai?
We sold them.
Okay. So did your mom go back and sell those things then, or?
No. We had friends there.
There sold all the stuff.
Yeah, wow. Just sold everything. Yeah. They just sold everything, and then we didn't even I remember the landlord was confused. He's like, "Where the hell are you?" I told him my story of his time.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
So from there, after a few months of trying, and then finally the British government generously accepted, and we moved into the north of England in a city called Newcastle. Yeah, it looks like Dublin. You've been to Dublin. It's very similar.
Yep.
So we stayed there. My parents are actually still there, and this is where I start feeling that my parents are not happy with their finances. This is where I start feeling it, because we were living in a 3-story house back in Dubai. Now we're living in a very small house, in English houses. They're tiny. So yeah, this is when I start realizing, I was like, wow, my parents are actually struggling with money. And I had to ask that. I couldn't ask them the amount of money, like whenever I want new shoes. I couldn't do that anymore,
Right.
I was like, wow, something changed here. Of course, my dad couldn't find a job for a very long time. He even worked as a taxi driver at one point. Yeah, so from my mom, my mom was pregnant with my little sister at the time. Even the hostel, she was actually pregnant. She had a very hard time at the time. And she couldn't work for a year. So my she can't work anyway for a very long time because she needs to study. Because British law is very different from like Middle Eastern stuff. I think they're based on French law or something. I'm not sure, but something like that. So we were in a total mess. I'm not gonna lie. And from there, I went to school. I didn't like it that much. I wasn't used to going to government schools, and man, it was a rough school.
Was it rough because of the teachers, or rough because you just didn't want to learn that style?
Well, to be honest, I never liked school, to be honest.
Me either. We're on the same boat there.
Yeah, so that's number one. Two, just the people there I didn't like. English people are one of the nicest people I've ever seen in like Europe. I'm not even gonna lie, but I
don't know, man. Those people in Ireland were sure damn friendly. I'm gonna tell you.
Irish people are nice as well. Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, I didn't like the environment that I was in. Like, they weren't the same. It was completely different. So I didn't feel comfortable that much. Yeah, and I still remember, there was this girl in my class, and a few other guys were in the chemistry class. I told her, I was like, you know what? Because I was really sick of chemistry at the time. I was like, you know what? You don't need chemistry to actually get successful in life. She's like, what? You need a degree? And we had a full argument about like an hour argument. Yeah. And then after that, we just kept going with life until I went to university. I did very good in school, which I was impressed of, I guess. I went to university. I'm in Edinburgh. This is where I'm still in. Edinburgh, Scotland, if you guys don't know where that is. And it's a great city. I love it so much. It's so nice. It's very pretty. And from there, this is where I started my base. So I got to know my mentor, Jason Capital, who is a 41 million net worth millionaire, through a very interesting way, which you'll find a bit hilarious, through dating.
What?
Yeah, dating. All right. So as a 17-year-old who wants to improve his skills with women, he was the man to help me. I read a couple of his books because he's actually
Wait, is he a dating coach?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but then he transitioned. He doesn't seem like a dating coach now. He's like more all about money and marketing and stuff like that. But yeah, he was a dating coach.
So at 17 years old, in a foreign country, of course you want to meet chicks. Struggling to meet chicks, you go find a dating coach.
Yeah, of course. This is what I do. I always find people to improve. So
I love it because there's no way in hell I would have went and looked for a dating coach.
No, I just didn't care, man. I just went up to Like behind my dad's back, I just go print books about dating. Yeah, I really remember. Yeah. I even did that in Dubai. Where, you know, like Dubai is a bit more like conservative place. You know, it's like religious. So when I went to the libraries, I remember one of the books they had like a really sexual cover. I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have put that in. And the guy was like, what is this? I was like, oh, don't worry,
man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. So yeah, like I really like him as he's a great guy, a great mentor as well. And then I noticed he started changing into money. And then I really at the time I actually didn't like the idea of me, especially when I went to uni. I didn't like the idea of me asking dad for money. I felt so bad because I saw them struggle for literally the past 3 years. It was so bad for me. Like I just felt so bad for them. And I applied for a student loan, which wasn't very good, but yeah, I guess that's the thing that helped me out for a couple of months. And yeah, it was just very hard. And then Jason Capital decides to launch his email program, which is an email marketing program. And guess how much it was?
How much?
$3,500 to get in, which is a very, very big thing for me.
Yeah, I say, how old are you at this point?
I don't know. I was like 19.
19 years old,
yes. Yeah.
Going to college. Yeah. In a foreign country. Parents are trying to scrap money together. Yeah. And you're looking at an email program that costs $3,500.
Yeah, but let me tell you the story. It's hilarious. Okay. I go to this guy. Jason is talking about a webinar about emails. I was like, cool, yeah, let's do this. All right. So I go in. I listen to the webinar for literally an hour, like hour and a half or something like that. And then in the end, he was like, okay, guys, so the program is $3,500. Like, oh, fuck this. I literally just ran away. Like, yeah. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay, Memo, listen. This is where angels came down from the sky and told me. I was like, listen, man, might as well try. Like, I want to bet on myself one day. Like, I lose the money. Well, fuck it. Let's just try. Yeah, I'll try my best. The only obstacle was my parents. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get the money. So I took all the money from my loan and put it there and then called my dad. I was like, Dad, I need $1,500. Was the hardest thing to me say. And then he just looked at me. He was like, what? I'm like, Dad, please listen. I have this, and I guarantee you I'll make it back and I'll pay you back everything. And he's like, all right. Okay, can I trust you? This, by the way, this took like three hours to discuss. I'm just making it short here.
Right. So it's not like you walked up to Dad, I need $1,500. Can I trust you? And he handed you a check. You were begging and pleading and, really putting your case out there saying, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So from there, I got the money and then I paid, like, as soon as I was writing, when you write your info, your card info and stuff. And I remember I have my mouse. I still have the same mouse today. My hands, when I was like confirming the payment, it was shaking. It was just shaking. It was like the hardest decision I've done in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. Anyway, I click the confirm payment. I go in first week. It was 7-week program, which is very intense. I get there, so much energy. People are trying to change it. Like I found the environment perfect. People are like me, who are sick of their lives. They want to make money. They're young and they just want to have fun. Maybe they have a different story from me, but they're very similar. So I was very happy at the point. I was like, wow, okay, I'm not going to regret this. I kept going. I kept practicing every single day. I write a piece. I write an email for different like niches and everything. By the end of week 7, which was the last week, I graduated. And we actually had a great time writing so many good emails. I actually made money. And at the time when I graduated, literally, I fucking cried. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wow, thank God.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So my parents were still skeptical about it because they wanna hear the money, So from there, I started going apeshit. I remember I had exams at that time. It was May. I had exams, and I do chemical engineering in uni, so it's a very hard thing to do. And I had exams. It was very intense, and I was doing emails at the same time. Yeah, so I was going apeshit on everyone I see. I just send them emails, Instagram posts, everything. Yeah, I sent literally over 100 texts or something like that. No, yeah, some of them hit, some of them flake, some of them don't. Okay, whatever. But I got a few people who started speaking, improving my selling techniques and all that, the things I learned. I just realized, like, to be honest, the number one thing that actually helped me just to there's this thing called Kaizen. You probably know it. You're a success coach, man. Kaizen is just basically building every day by small bits, and then one day you will achieve a great thing. So I just had that freedom in me the whole time, and I just kept doing it. And then one day it just struck, and then I signed my first client. And I literally, when he said yes, I just ran out. I ran out the door. I was running the whole. Yeah. So after that, we're all good. We paid like course back. I paid my dad the money he has. He was quite happy. And then I was like, I told you, you should start doing this too. And then, yeah, that was the beginnings of my email adventures.
And where you are now. And I've seen you writing, and it's pretty freaking phenomenal. Going through that course, I'm just curious, when you saw a guy who was a relationship coach and he was teaching you how to meet chicks, and he says, I'm flipping over to talk about money, what clicked for you to say, well, that's the guy I'm going to follow and I'm going to sign up for this program?
Interestingly, the guy who was actually doing relationships, he used email marketing to sell his products and help us. And he gave us so much value from email marketing. So I really, really enjoyed his newsletter. When he said, I'm changing, which took he didn't say it, but he changed it very slowly when he did that. And when he started using email marketing, and then he told us about how he uses email marketing and how he made money, I wanted to be like him because I really trusted the guy from emails. This is the power of email. Like, it can actually touch you personally. It's not like Instagram. Instagram, everyone sees it. Everyone sees it. But email, it's in your inbox. So it's just you. It feels like you're just him and I speaking together. The power of his emails actually made me like emails and like to do marketing itself. And previously, what got me really interested in copywriting is I've always wanted to be a copywriter. I had so many, Dan Kennedy, all these great copywriters before. I always followed them. I always tried. I always bought books about it, but they never worked, because I kept making mistakes, which happens, but it takes a very long time, longer than when you have a mentor. He just shortcuts it.
Right.
From there. And then when he was talking about the marketing and email marketing and copywriting in general, I was like, yeah, that's it. This is exactly what I need. Let's do it. So I was very passionate about it already. So he basically read my mind into what I really like, and then he just launched his program. I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Right. Well, and the cool thing about it is, and I'll let you explain it further, but, for me, you're helping me send out daily emails to my list, or weekly emails, daily, close, whatever, about a product that we're offering in our social content package, and keeping the information relevant to them. And what I want the world to know as they're listening to this, how did you find me?
Oh, did I find you?
Yeah.
You're one of my great pull. Instagram. Yeah, this is what I do. I put tags, and I like a lot of people. So, when you do an automated, sorry, my English is going down there. Yeah, Instagram, likes and follows. I just check you out. I was like, is this guy worth it? And then when I saw you, of course, you're having a podcast and so I was like, all right, might as well try. So it's there.
So everybody listening, Memo actually sent me a message through Instagram, and he said, if I remember right, he pretty much praised me over my Instagram following. He talked to me about my podcast and thought it was cool. And he asked if it was okay if he shared what he did for a living, which I thought was cool. He asked before he bombarded me. And then he literally, laid out what he did, and we figured out a way to work together. And so for anybody else listening to this, if you have gone through and you spent money on some of these courses, and some of these courses like $3,500 or even more, tens of thousands of dollars, and you're trying to figure out how to get new clients and new business, it could be just as simple as sending the proper message through Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're playing.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, I think the most important thing in approaching people, you just gotta be decisive and really just gotta be confident about it. People really overcomplicate the stuff. When you approach new people that are really big, really rich people, just have a normal conversation you're having, but be transparent and be clear, and don't be like you're a second to them. Just be like you're the expert. Just act until you become it, basically. And that's one of the ways I always do it. Like sometimes I do it on video. I even send them videos. Like, who the hell am I to send them videos? Yeah, I send them videos like, hey, my name is this and that, and yeah, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Do you think it's all right? It's just simple stuff like that. You don't have to be fancy and send them paragraphs, because look, they're human beings as well. They're busy. They like to have fun. They like to chill. You don't have to be fancy with them at all.
Well, and I want people to see, I mean, you're still starting out with all this, but you've already found success because you're taking the risks to do these reach outs. And, you know, I bet before you even found me that you had reached out to a ton of people trying to get somebody to raise their hand all the way along with the process. So walk us through what you do, right? You know, what are you doing for people?
All right. So the idea of me as an email income expert or an email copywriter is I try to create the most trust between my client and his list by focusing on personal connection and entertainment in emails. And the reason I do this is because most emails now are very pitchy and they sell too much, or they're too educational. Like they give you a lot of stuff about what they do. Like, for example, like let's say a success coach. He will just give you all these success coach notes and everything in one email, and it's just chunky and everything. Yeah, people don't like education. They might say they do, but they don't. They really like entertainment. People like to be entertained. And this is the reason a teacher earns less than an actor. This is a very true thing. So what I focus on is to entertain my people on the list. And at the same time, we give them value for free. Yeah. Which builds trust. And from there, if someone trusts you, he's most likely going to buy from you. If he doesn't trust you, he's not going to buy from you. If you pitch him too much, you'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm not going to buy from him, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I wrote an email for you. If you don't, I wrote an email. This is not for you, Donnie. I'm just going to speak to people.
Right.
Yeah. I wrote an email for Donnie I actually really like that email. Hey, about what do you feel when you get like pitch messages, like, you know, on your mailbox, all these like broadband adverts or whatever they're called. Yeah. And then they just keep pitching you. Where do you think they put them? Do you just keep them in your, locker or on your room or something? No, you just throw them in the bin, right? So it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Something that's interesting that catches people and keeps them entertained, and they're like, well, to actually buy after all.
Right. I don't want people to, when I say what I'm about to say, I'm not saying Memo can get you guaranteed success. I will tell you that within 3 emails, we landed 2 deals. With his writing, the content package that we were delivering, and a couple things that I think played into that factor. 1, I had an audience that trusted me with my email list. They already knew me. 2, he was writing in a way that I could never pull off myself. And we were putting on a consistent message. And it would tell you, it was pretty cool because I'd send out tons of emails prior to working with him and making every damn mistake in the book, I'm sure, than to have him step in and write me some emails and they hit. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and the thing is, most people get confused, especially like that when they talk to me, they're like, okay, so you're gonna write emails for me? I was like, well, yeah. And I'm like, basically, I try to imitate the voice of my client. So when I speak, I'm speaking as Donnie, basically. When I write for Donnie, I speak as Donnie. And when I write for someone else, I speak as him. So I try to imitate the voice and actually make it as genuine as possible. Because this is the most, you don't want to be too derailed from what the actual guy is saying, because they were like, what the hell, this guy's changing on our emails. So, yeah.
Well, and here's what I love about this, is you don't live in America, but you are in a sense living that American dream. You know,
American dream, huh?
Right. From the
why are you telling an Iraqi to live an American dream?
Okay, so you're living the Iraqi Dubai, you know.
Okay.
Right, but I mean, but it's all about, you know, chasing that better lifestyle. And on any adversity, keep plowing forward and going for it. I mean, it's really a cool damn thing. And
yeah, all I want from this, actually, like, look, like money is a thing, of course, but what I really want is just to feel free. I want to wake up one day thinking I have at least six-figure on my account having to worry about money again. I just want to chill. I just want to be free about money. I want to help my parents, help my little sister who's gonna grow up one day and she's gonna be like, I don't want her to live in a very like broke family, just came in, kept moving out. Like that's not fair for her. I don't think that's fair for her. So this is my dream, just to be free, help out others, and maybe I'll start coaching one day. This is my future plans as well.
Well, I think it's going to happen pretty quick for you, brother, as you continue to, get after it and make things happen. I think life's going to really start blossoming and opening up for you. Memo, how do people get in touch with you? If they want to tap into this resource, these type of things, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, literally anyway, through email, Instagram, my phone. You guys are probably in America, so you don't want to call me because it's too expensive for you. Because if you're rich enough, you can call me. That'd be great. Yeah, but email, Instagram is perfect for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And guys, we'll put all of his contact stuff in the show notes. But if you're struggling in your business to sell anything, I will promise you your email list is the most, I don't know the right words, but it's the strongest thing you have as a communication tool to all the people who follow you. This kid's legit. I mean, he's the real deal as far as, being able to take your voice and your message. And I mean, take it from a guy who's, some would look at and say a redneck in Texas, working with a guy that, across the pond and doing a passion project for him. And he's able to take my words and messages and put it out there in such a way that it's meaningful and impacts my audience and led to sales. So if that would be a value with him, please reach out to him. I was really excited to be able to bring him on and share his story and let people, because a lot of times when you don't see what's behind the curtain, you can be very skeptical. You can be very not trusting of what you hear. I hope you hearing his story, you get a better idea of what he's doing. So, Memo, here's how I finish up every show. And so I want you to be prepared for this because I do stump some people. But if you could leave my audience with a quote, a saying, a mantra, a phrase, something they could take with them on their journey that may help them on their trial, what would it be?
Okay, so there is this story about Richard Branson. A girl came up to him in a car park and she asked him, she's like, can you tell me 3 words that are inspirational? And he just looked at her, responded, you're going to die. So basically, guys, just keep working on yourself, keep betting on yourself. This is the most important thing. Take risks, especially about you. Some people don't like to see other people selfish, but I'm just telling you, be selfish. Put yourself first, put yourself out there, and just take action every single day. It's so important. And it may sound really absurd or very vague, but it actually really matters. Take action. It doesn't matter. It might be 30 minutes a day, but take action. Keep taking action. Because one day you'll realize you're like, wow, I actually did this. I've never thought myself I would do this. I was a broke kid, 17-year-old going to the shittiest school in the neighborhood, and now I'm actually doing quite well. So you never know. Life can change it can change over time. You don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm just saying, just keep taking action and never stop. And Kaizen, the most important. Kaizen. Yeah.
That's awesome. Memo, thanks for coming on and doing this, brother. I really, really appreciate it.
You too, man.
You know what, guys? Really, thank you for listening to this episode. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun putting these together. I wanted to make sure before we get out of here that you knew what we were doing with social content. What we found was because of the podcast, we have a unique way of helping you get your social content out on a very easy way. What we're doing is we're interviewing people. And from that interview, we will capture a lot of information that will then be turned into videos, memes, articles, all things you can use for your social content. I know, for me, one of the biggest struggles I had was, what do I put out there? What do I say on a regular basis? Well, we'll help do all that for you. So if this is at all of interest to you, reach out to us and let us help you grow your social media channel. I can tell you I did this for my business, and my social media is completely taking off. My Instagram, since I started doing this, jumped to over 10,000 followers, and it continues to grow. So if this is at all of interest to you, check the bottom of the show notes for the link that says, "Get my social content done right now."